Shaquille O'Neal.
He's still relevant.
This was based off yesterday we talked about Keanu Reeves. Have you heard, or did you see the story recently?
No.
I had heard this story before, but basically he donated from the original Matrix movie $70 million of his salary, meaning like percentage points of the back end profits, not his actual original salary, to a leukemia charity. And he also he gave all the stuntmen on the Matrix Harley Davidsons, and he gave the entire stunt team of John Wick Rolexes. But he's well known as a dude who gives up his seat on buses. He still travels on the bus, so he's a good guy. The joke is he's a good guy, Greg. That's the term. It's a good guy, Greg. It's somebody who's just such a good dude. Like I made the joke where I think he does the reason he does one good movie and one bad movie is because after he does a good movie, like a friend of his asks him to do a movie, he's just too nice to say no. He's like, I don't want to do this, but this guy's my friend. I'm just going to do the movie anyway. That's how you get movies like Knock Knock.
Never seen it.
Everybody, go watch the movie. Go watch the movie.
No.
If you want to see an
Look into my eyes. No. Look into my eyes. He's pointing at my eyes.
I'm writing down Knock
eyes.
Knock.
No, Carter. Eyes. Eyes. Don't meet.
My pen doesn't work.
It's a very here.
No.
I gave him a pen. It's a if you want an early rendition of an Ana de Armas role, it's very funny. It's truly an awful movie. You will love every second of it. It's the cringiest, but it literally only works. Okay, I'll describe the movie to you before we get into Shaquille O'Neal. The movie is about
women.
Women basically entrap this dude in his own house and basically come on to him for an hour until he finally gives in and does them, and then afterwards they then blackmail him. In his whole house is filled with pictures of his wife and his kids, he's this guy. He's portrayed as a super family man. He's like, I love my wife. He texts her 1,000 times a day, and he these women. It's literally hot women show up out of nowhere in the rain
as a team.
These two women together, and then it's just it's supposed to be a weird sexual psychological thriller the rest of the movie, and they torture him. And,
I gotta see this.
And it only works because he's such a good guy. You could imagine it happening to him.
So the movie's based on his in real life character.
It's uncomfortable. If it was a regular Hollywood celebrity, you'd be like, well, they're probably deviants anyways. It's not funny. But when he's in it, it's just uncomfortable because he's such a nice guy. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But we're not talking about Keanu. We're going to talk about Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaquille O'Neal, and he was cool.
Yes. So I was like, okay, are there other celebrities who are good about, who are known as good guys? Now, Shaquille O'Neal, I found stuff. He was the first one that came to mind because of a specific incident we'll talk about here. It's not the most recent one, but it's the one that made me think of this story. But part of it is also some people say that he's the opposite. Keanu, it's almost a unanimous belief that he's like Betty White. There isn't a person alive that had a bad thing to say about her. There's not a person alive that has a bad thing to say about Keanu. But in general, most people aren't going to get that level of support from the general public. There's always going to be naysayers. And Shaq, I saw some negative stuff, but for the most part, it's really good stuff. And this story was published today, from yesterday. It says Shaquille O'Neal gifted 1,000 PS5's and Nintendo Switches to needy kids over Christmas. Shaquille O'Neal became a real-life Santa Claus at Christmas after he gave away thousands of free presents. Before we get into it, he has a foundation called the Shaquille O'Neal Foundation. That one thing that I think is different between him and Keanu is he tends to brand his good deeds, which we made the conversation point yesterday. It takes away a little bit of the impact when they brand it. But I still say if you do good things, maybe give credit where credit is due. I think that Keanu gets more credit because he works so hard not to be seen that way. So it's he's trying not to be seen as a saintly type guy, but that's what makes people like him more. Shaquille O'Neal tends to brand it a little bit more. So he has the Shaquille O'Neal Foundation, whereas Keanu Reeves has a foundation where he doesn't attach his name so that his celebrity doesn't overshadow it. But that doesn't make what Shaquille O'Neal's doing any less important. And he has a thing, so he gives thousands of presents over every Christmas. He has a party called Shaq-a-Claus. Shaquille, where every year, and it says the towering former NBA legend decided that he wanted to give underprivileged kids a reason to smile during the 2021 Christmas, so he called up a few friends and dropped some serious cash at Walmart to give away some awesome gifts. He handed out 1,000 1,000 PlayStation 5s and Nintendo Switch consoles, as well as some bikes. Shaq Claus brought the holiday spirit to children at Wesley Lake Elementary School in McDonough, Georgia. This was a Pepsi tweet. Shaq joined us for the event, which featured donations from Pepsi, Frito-Lay, Tonka, and many more. According to Essentially Sports, Shaq felt compelled to give back to the community because of his parents. Speaking on Gary Vaynerchuk's The Gary V Audio Experience podcast, the 7'1" Santa said, "You know me, coming from where I come from. My father was a drill sergeant. My mother was a hard-working woman." I believe his mom was a doctor. Mm-hmm. Didn't have a lot, but they taught me the value of giving back. They taught me that the value of helping those in need. When I was with Toys R Us, there was an alarming stat: 15 to 20 million kids wake up on Christmas Day not to receive one gift. I felt that one time I don't ever want to have a kid. I felt that one time I don't ever want a kid to feel like that. So he does it in the form of an interview, but I still think it's important, and I still think he comes across as a good dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He has a lot of videos with his kids, like on Instagram and stuff like that. And from what I read recently, his kids don't have any access to their inheritance unless they finish college. He's you gotta go out there, you gotta do something with your life, you gotta succeed. You're not just going to be able to live off my money. He's
originally Bill Gates wanted to do that, but now he didn't.
Shaq, he goes, "We're not rich, I'm rich." Mm-hmm. That's badass.
Yeah.
I think the other Jackie Chan is the same way, right? Didn't give money to his kids, made his kids get their money on their own. Mm-hmm. One of them was Les Miracles, giving me the death stare because she hates Jackie Chan.
Yeah. He has a love child, and basically his love child, I stand with her. Basically she's like, he's not my father because he hasn't been in my life and he doesn't care to get to know me or even reach out to me, so he doesn't deserve to.
I wouldn't reach out to her either if she said that.
No, because legit because
I'm kidding, kind of.
Oh,
I'm not going to comment on this.
I was half kidding, but I'm just saying,
mm-hmm.
Okay, that doesn't necessarily. So one bad mistake doesn't necessarily mean to make him a bad person.
I know, but some people are
I'd say him being more supportive of the CCP is more of a problem than.
Yeah, that's why I don't like him for that. But his love child, basically, when she said that, I was like, I kind of identify with that because I don't know who my real father is, and I kind of had a father figure. I'm not really sure.
That isn't usually a yes or no, or
I'm not really sure. I grew up with my grandparents. I had my uncle, but he was here and there.
You didn't consider your grandfather a father figure?
He wasn't there that often.
It was mostly your grandma.
Yeah, and then I did have my stepdad. He doesn't like it when I call him stepdad, but it's easier for people to understand why I have a white dad. Mm-hmm. But
did you consider him a father figure?
He was here and there too.
But that was later on, right?
Apparently he was there when I was 4, but I don't remember this memory.
Damn.
But yeah, for me, I kind of identify with that because I'm I didn't really have a real dad growing up.
But the mm-hmm. purpose of what I was saying was that Jackie Chan wasn't giving his kids.
Yeah,
he told his kids they don't get any of his money at all.
That teaches them hard work.
I believe one of his kids became a stuntman like him.
Mm-hmm. Jason Chan.
Okay, and then the other one had more problems, right? There was one that had substance abuse problems.
Yeah, that's the same one, Jason Chan.
Okay, so you're teaching your kids the value of hard work, of what it means to do something with your life. I can understand that. And then there's this other story here. This is the one I remembered that made me want to talk about this.
Not
which
Jason,
is,
my bad.
Shaquille O'Neal quietly paid for a random guy's engagement ring while standing in line.
Hey, that's nice.
Yes,
mm-hmm.
An unsuspecting man, and this story was from a couple months ago. It says, an unsuspecting guy at a shopping mall, Zales. I like the idea that Shaquille O'Neal's at Zales. Mm-hmm. He's worth $400 million, and he's at a Zales, mid-level, low-level diamond shop, not some high-end place.
Why was he there? Yeah.
It says, an unsuspecting guy at a shopping mall Zales got the surprise of his life while trying to pay off part of his engagement ring. As the young man talked with the clerk at the jewelry store counter about how much he still owed for his ring and when he'd be able to pay it off, an extraordinarily large hand handed the clerk a credit card. Shaquille O'Neal, the 7'1" basketball legend, known colloquially as Shaq. I hate that one. That's like what's the other word that there's another word, politicization.
Politicization. Politicization.
Politicization.
Dude, I can't say it either.
Exactly. See, those I hate those ones.
Colloquially. Dude.
Use words. Use words.
It's colloquially.
Colloquially.
Yes. Despite the fact that it's spelled COLLOQUUIALLY. So colloquially, as Shaq overheard this sucks. Overheard the conversation and decided to take care of the bill himself. No big announcement, no fanfare. He just handed over his credit card and shook the stunned customer's hands and patted him on the back, and that was that. Someone caught the moment on video and shared it, which prompted Shaq's co-host on the NBA on TNT to ask him about the next day. One of the first questions was, "You really went to the mall and went to Zales?"
Doesn't that kind of devalue the wedding ring, though? It's supposed to be a quarter of your pay, right?
It's like
free wedding ring.
That's funny you mentioned that because I never knew that that's an actual thing. Because there's an ad, I still remember to this day. This speaks to the power of advertising. Yeah. As someone who's never been married, I still remember an ad for a diamond boutique where someone says, what else would you expect from something that's supposed to cost 3 months' salary?
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that is a quarter of your pay.
Yeah. So it's a quarter of your yearly pay.
Yeah.
You add in the wedding, since the bride's family no longer pays for the wedding. Yeah. Traditionally, you're just broke. It says not exactly what you. It says first of all, the first question was, "You went to a mall and went to Zales?" ?
I was looking for this.
Not exactly where one would expect a person with a $400 million net worth to be hanging out on a Monday. But Shaq pointed out that he has a jewelry store line at Zales. So he works. He has like a line of jewelry that goes on that's sold at Zales. He went in to get some hoop earrings already. So I love the idea that Shaq went to a Zales to buy his own line of jewelry.
Yeah, or maybe just pick it up.
No,
he wasn't going to pay for it.
I don't want that. I want to find out that Shaq went there and it's just like, you know what? I'm going to buy some of my, like he's like, I got some at home, but I'm going to go buy some from the store because I don't want to go home or something.
Or it's like he's like too far away from home. He doesn't have time. So he's like, I'll just stop in one of my shops and grab a pair of my earrings.
Exactly. The young man at the checkout counter was so shy, Shaq said, that and when he heard him talking about paying for his engagement ring, Shaq asked him how much it was and offered to pay for it. At first, the guy refused, but Shaq insisted, and apparently he does random acts of generosity all the time. He said that he was recently in a furniture store. Seriously, do multimillionaires not shop online? And saw a mom with an autistic daughter buying furniture. He just took care of their bill just because. I'm into making people happy, he said. I didn't mean for that to get out because I don't do that. I'm just trying to make people smile, that's all. Shaq's generosity is well documented despite his preference to keep much of it under wraps. In a 2015 interview with Graham Basinger, he explained how his father's charity despite their family not having a lot of money, influenced him. So it was a big part of their family, you know.
Okay.
I don't know if they were religious, but that's a core tenet of a lot of...
that makes sense of why he has like the Shaquille O'Neal Foundation.
Yeah, exactly, right? So, and after giving the family's bag of hamburgers to a homeless veteran, his father got into the family car and told him, if you ever make it big time, make sure you help those in need. So small gestures, that's what's important. Like the small gestures are the one that remind you that you don't need to be a multimillionaire to make somebody else's day.
Exactly.
You can do that at any pay grade if you're paying attention.
Sure.
One story I can tell is I used to work at a Target. It was one of my first jobs. I managed the photo lab of a Target, and during the holidays they would often need me to come up from behind the counter and ring at a regular register, and it was commonplace for people to like pay for the person behind them. But one day there's ladies in line with about $700 worth of Christmas gifts, and the guy behind her had a pack of gum and a Mountain Dew, and the guy paid for all of it.
Oh my God.
All of it. Like, and when the lady, first of all, the lady's like, is this a scam or something? Like, you know, like the average person isn't going to know what to do with something like that. And if you looked closely at the guy, he looked like an everyday person, but he had on like a nice watch, you know, he had, you know what I mean? Like you could tell that he had money, but it was subtle, right?
Yeah.
So the dude's just like, no, it's the holidays, Merry Christmas, you know, best to you and your family.
Wow.
And I kid you not, helped her bag it.
Oh.
That was the best part, because I thought it was like the dude's just like that rich that he just wanted to get his gum and leave, but he helped her bag it, wished her a Merry Christmas, and went on his way.
Mm-hmm.
So that is like an example of that. But you don't need to do that with you hear the stories all the time about people who like they pay for the person behind them in line at a drive-through.
Yeah, someone did that to me for Starbucks, and I paid for the person behind me because I was like, that's not.
So that's like something you can do. Like it doesn't have to be stories. I like bringing it up. I bring up stories about celebrities who like battle with addiction and overcome it, because I feel like it's important to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And I like bringing up stories like this because those stories of like a much smaller, more modest giving back is what can motivate someone like you or me to do that with people. So yeah, I don't know.
I think that's sweet.
It is.
Mm-hmm. It's really sweet.
Has anybody ever done something like that for you?
Nope,
like-
but I found money on the floor, which I consider lucky. There was one time where like my friends and I found $50 on the floor.
Wow. A 50?
Yep, a 50.
I once found a 1, a 5, and a 10 all in the same day. That's like the extent of like that for me. That was
I
like,
found 20s multiple times in New York City and a 50 once in Texas.
Yeah.
If you're looking like, I don't
If
know,
you
I
look on the ground, you will see
I'm very
money.
observant.
Yeah,
when it
same.
comes to that stuff.
I'm very observant when it comes to money being on the ground too. I notice all the money that ends up on the ground.
I notice
Yeah.
everything on the ground.
Yeah, but also I wanted to make a correction. My bad. His son's name is JC.
JC.
Chan.
Okay.
I said Jason Chan.
You said Jason
That's a singer. My bad.
Jason Chen. I know Jason Chen.
Yeah.
Is that who you're talking about? Or
Yeah,
Jason Chen?
I mixed up the names.
Okay. Yes, he's a cover artist. He does a lot of good covers. Yep.
And also the problem child that you're talking about, her name is Etta.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah,
I just
she's
knew there
the
was-
strange daughter that I told you about.
Oh, that's not the one. I don't consider her a problem child because she's estranged. That's effed up.
No. But
The drug
she.
thing?
You mean the
there's-
one that there's just drama with?
There's this drama, and also there's like rumors that she's homeless.
Oh, that's sad. That
Yeah.
was like that story about Dr. Dre has like a daughter that's like homeless that got
But-
cut off.
But surprisingly, she has a wife now, so
good for her.
She might be happy, but there's like rumors that she might be homeless.
Well, if they're married, they should hopefully have like a
Uh,
place to live.
Maybe, but there's like rumors about it. But yeah, JC Chan. My bad. Don't come at
Don't at me.
don't at me.
Don't at me.
Don't at me because like I don't follow it. But yeah, his son almost looks like him. Like, it's kinda weird.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It says just one more thing about
But
Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaquille O'Neal's a good
It
person.
says Shaq once asked a restaurant server how much of a tip she wanted, and she quipped 4,000. He gave it to her.
Oh, what? Really?
He gave it to her when
Dude,
a 12-year-old.
So weird.
When a 12-year-old was paralyzed by a stray bullet in a shooting, Shaq donated a whole house to his family. A fan who saw Shaq at a Best Buy offered condolences to the star for the untimely death of Shaq's friend and former teammate Kobe Bryant, as well as Shaq's sister Aisha, who had recently passed away from cancer. He was treated to a new laptop, the best one in the store. See, now I'm worried that like
People are following Shaq around,
Yeah,
hoping
like-
good deeds happen.
like I'm literally like people are like Shaq, man. They're literally like hoping.
Yeah.
Like I hope that's not the case. People
Same.
leave Shaq alone.
Shaq is a good person,
Yeah, like
even though he played that terrible movie where he was like a genie, right?
Actually, that was not him. Apparently, this is the Mandela effect. Because I
Sinbad?
thought that too. Yeah,
Sinbad was
yeah,
the
yeah,
one?
Yeah. That's well.
Are you
no,
sure?
it was
Check me on
Shaquille
that.
O'Neal.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
maybe
it's
it was the
Shaquille-
opposite thing.
And it's not Shazam, it's Kazam.
It's Kazam. Yeah, it's Kazam. A lot of people thought it was Sinbad, but
Yeah.
it's actually Shaquille
It is on the
O'Neal.
screen right now, ladies and gentlemen.
It's
I know
Shazam.
my facts.
Sorry,
People get it mixed up because there was
somebody mixed me up with that video.
Sinbad was big at this time.
Yeah.
And he had First Kid, and he was in.
Oh yeah, First Kid.
Yeah,
I remember
Sinbad,
that movie.
Sinbad, man. Sinbad was the man.
Sinbad.
But he was. That's not what Shaquille O'Neal's important for. Shaquille O'Neal's important for the movie Steel. Okay.
I don't
Yes.
know that movie.
It's a comic book. It was a very early comic book movie. We're
Oh
talking
wait, we talked
1997.
about it because
Yeah, because they reintroduced John Henry Irons into
Superman and Lois.
Superman and Lois. So they brought Steel back now, which means I can hope that one day we get like a multiverse, like they can introduce the multiverse there, and we can get Shaquille O'Neal and the CW version on the same screen. That would be incredible.
Well, they did it with Spider-Man, so maybe
it could happen.
It could happen.
So you guys, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was fun. We actually talked about music this time.
Yeah.
Did.
Carter, why don't you share with everyone your social media so they know where to find you?
All right. Well, I made it a point to share something on Instagram every day this year, so keep holding me accountable for this New Year's resolution at Carter Banks 4L.
He's also got like
Instagram.
he's got like a big @ symbol in his office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's
I found that
very cool.
Goodwill.
Yes. I need to find one like that.
So yeah, Carter Banks 4L, and then the rest is just at Carter Banks on Twitter. I don't really use Twitter, but I'm gonna start. Hopefully.
Ooh.
Okay. And Miracle Sam, why don't you share with everyone your social media?
I don't have social media because it rots your brain, but I did find out that apparently I did have a Minds account, but I don't have any.
I would like to point out that was your coolest looking sign out that you just did right there.
I did?
That was very, very cool.
I don't... Oh, I didn't even pay attention to them.
You were like...
Oh, I did.
It was very suave. It was very good.
Because I was thinking of Jackie Chan's movie City Hunter. Are you familiar with it?
I'm not.
Oh, it's so funny because they did a reference to Street Fighter, and he was Chun-Li.
Oh God, I forgot about that. We've talked about that.
Yeah, he was Chun-Li, and then like when he won, he did the Chun-Li thing.
How did they get away with that? Was it Nicki Minaj that made that song, or was that
Chun-Li?
Was that Cardi B that made?
No, it's Nicki Minaj
Okay.
because Nicki Minaj, like, she loves Asian cultures so much. Like, she was featured in BTS's song, Mic Drop, I believe. Yeah, Mic Drop. But she's been to Japan and China a lot, and she's been inspired, and she has like a Chinese tattoo, which I think is really cool. I like it when people appreciate culture. It's called appreciation, people.
Not appropriation.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that. Yeah.
Moral of the story is social media rots your brain.
It does.
Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.
Bye.